All right. Hey, hope you are doing well and having a fabulous day. Coming to you from our headquarters here in sunny Florida. A little overcast out there today, but thankfully it kind of knocked the heat down a little bit. Wanted to share with you, and we share with you different things that we're thinking on or working on as a team. And one of the things is, not everything that glitters is gold, and not all success is easy. And so I want to highlight and kind of do a little bit of work with you on one of the properties that we sold. And we shared with you the sale of the property back in May of this year. It was Westgate. And we, celebrated that as we do all of our victories, all of our wins. But I also try to authentically share with you what it takes to succeed. The good, the bad, the ugly. I want you to learn and grow right along with us and the team. And, again, I'm also sharing with you now things we're looking at, things we're working on, things we're concerned about as we move forward into 2024 and ahead, even beyond for the next 3 to 5 years. But so Westgate, we bought that property in July of 21. We paid just a smidge over $3.3 million for it. We had a budget for capital improvements of about $485,000. We bought it as, now again, this is part of the advantage of our discipline and underwriting as well as our relationships. We bought it as part of a portfolio purchase of 4 other communities, a 300-unit property, and then 2 other smaller properties as well. So now with that, we got a great basis on the property when we bought it, 48 units, $3.3 million. It had a building that was down from fire, 8 units. It had been sealed up and put back together, meaning it's ready to go, where we got to go in, get the permits, electrical, plumbing, drywall, etc. So we buy the property, we move forward with the plan. July of 21, you still had the eviction moratorium that was going to open up the courts in October of 21. So we go forward with the, the permitting systems. And now, you had extreme difficulties with, that particular property was in DeKalb County, which is in Atlanta. And so, they were still, good Lord, I went to a court hearing thing up there. God, it was like earlier this year, like in February, I think. And they had just like 3 months earlier come off of people coming back to the court. You know what I mean? Like they were still working from home from COVID. And, even when I was there in February, they required masks in the thing. It's just crazy, right? So the fire building was extremely delayed. Normally you can submit plans for restoration and within, 6 to 8 weeks, 10 weeks at the worst, you've got your plans approved and now you're able to move forward in construction. But it was a real challenge because they didn't easily work together because people were working from home. It's insanity. So we're fighting through and struggling through this, with them. There's 8 units out of 48, which is not a small number, good Lord, just under 20% that are down, that are not producing revenue. So that affects us. And then one of the things that we ended up finding is with DeKalb County, they were slow in processing. Normally, the expected timeline for the burn-off of evictions was 6 to 8 months, depending on the court system and whether they not brought in more people to process the backlog of evictions. So that's true and real. But so what DeKalb County has done is they've adopted a more liberal mindset where even today, I'm recording this video here at the end of September of 2023. Even today, they're running anywhere from still 7 to 12 months on their eviction timeline because of the hurdles that they've put in place. So what we found at that time, in, July, August, September, October, the court system opens in October. They were just moving like so slow at a snail's pace. They were not processing fastly or quickly the backlog of evictions. The marshal's service to deliver writs was not processing that quickly either. So that really began to be a drag on performance. And the reason for that is because, at a property like this, there was at one time, 16 evictions there. Good Lord. Out of 40 units, that's a tremendous amount. So now you got 16 evictions going on. You've got 8 units down by fire. That is a difficult challenge to work with. And, unfortunately, we talked to the marshal's service, to the judicial office. They're just not willing to move forward in a direct way. So our team had to work even more intently on having to try to get people out, use kind of a debt for keys program where we threaten people it would also be where we would, really try to enforce that kind of, hey, if you don't get out, we're going to come chase you down, get a garnishment against your future tax reimbursement, all these things. So, I mean, again, it caused a lot more work there. Finally, of course, we got the permit. It took, good Lord, probably greater than 8-9 months to get the permit. Just as insane. What should have took you 2.5 months took 9 or 10 months to get it. And then, we began the work on that. And that was a slow process too, just because, again, the inspections were not going smoothly. So these are all kind of some of the challenges that you deal with behind the scenes with some of these things that are outside of our control. Now, again, we were able to bring the 1-bedrooms, the rent from like $800 to $975, and then the 2 bedrooms from, $900 to $1,100. So again, no small move within the property. And then during that period of time, because of those struggles, our company had to loan that project money. Now, again, we could have done a capital call with the investors. We lent probably about $150,000 to carry that project through some of those shortfalls. Because again, when you've got that many people on eviction, it affects operations. And then coupled together, you have the fire building that should have been completed or completable within a year, realistically took every bit of a 1.5 years to almost, just a little bit longer than that. You know what I mean? Like, we got the fire building done and completed. I think it was probably right around December of this year. So just crazy, or December of 2022. So again, it's something that I share with you because, again, not everybody does that. Not everybody's willing to step in and take responsibility and move forward and advance a project forward. Now, that being said, we also in December got hit with a freeze in Atlanta. It was just kind of a weird thing. It affected thousands of units, caused damage, and affected a handful of units at this location as well. And so now we were also then coupled together with having to start to restore those units. Now, as we did that, we began marketing the property for sale because of our relationships. We're like, hey, you can buy the property now, or it's going to be finished and completed from this freeze and storm units, Elliott storm, in, roughly 60 days. So we were actually able to, with a local buyer group that we worked with before, put together a deal to sell the property for about $4.8 million. And then on top of that, keep the insurance proceeds, which was about $300,000. So, we bought it for 3.3. We ended up putting about 350,000 in it. So we had 3.65 in it. And then we were able to sell it for right about 5.15 million. And that was just this May. So that was a 2-year period of a hold. Fantastic project. I mean, we knew going in, we got it at a great basis compared to where the market was because we bought it off market as part of a portfolio. We also knew that there was a significant opportunity there with the fire building to create value. And then we also knew that there was plenty of opportunity and value to move the rents to what we did and beyond. And so, however, the difficulties of dealing with that particular county and dealing with the lethargy of the building department caused the drag of performance on the property, which then our company made the decision to step in and loan money to the project to carry through where we'd be repaid back at the sale. And we did that because we knew we had confidence in the project. We also did it because that's something that enabled us to help that project succeed. And also it helped us to get the results that our investors and ourselves were looking for. So I just share that because, again, I know one of the things that we see on the horizon is there are some challenges, where other investment groups have thought and allocated certain principles that they were going to achieve. And then now they've not achieved those. Their projects are struggling a bit. And, they're maybe not in the position as we are, or maybe they don't have the convictions that we have to be able to help and assist in that. And so I just want to share with you that because, yeah, we celebrate the success. Yes, our investors and ourselves, we made a good return on that. And it was a great project over a 2-year period. And we did well. Smaller project, no doubt. But hey, again, we don't despise the small ones as the big ones as well. But I think it's important to understand that a lot of times more goes into it. There's more sacrifice and requirement than it is to get the success. Success is not always easy. So again, I greatly appreciate you. Have a blessed and victorious week, for this is the week God has ordained for you.